Robert John Downey Jr. is an American actor, producer, and singer. His career has been characterized by critical and popular success in his youth, followed by a period of substance abuse and legal troubles, before a resurgence of commercial success in middle age. In 2008, Downey was named by Time magazine among the 100 most influential people in the world, and from 2013 to 2015, he was listed by Forbes as Hollywood's highest-paid actor. His films have grossed over $14.4 billion worldwide, making him the second highest-grossing box office star of all time.
At the age of 5, he made his acting debut in Robert Downey Sr.'s film Pound in 1970. He subsequently worked with the Brat Pack in the teen films Weird Science and Less Than Zero. In 1992, Downey portrayed the title character in the biopic Chaplin, for which he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor and won a BAFTA award. Following a stint at the Corcoran Substance Abuse Treatment Facility on drug charges, he joined the TV series Ally McBeal, for which he won a Golden Globe Award. However, in the wake of 2 drug charges, one in late 2001 and early 2001, he was fired and his character terminated. He stayed in a court-ordered drug treatment program shortly after and has maintained his sobriety since 2003.
Initially, bond completion companies would not insure Downey, until Mel Gibson paid the insurance bond for the 2003 film The Singing Detective. He subsequently went on to star in the black comedy Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, the thriller Zodiac, and the action comedy Tropic Thunder. For the latter he was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Downey gained wider recognition for starring as Tony Stark/Iron Man in 10 films within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, from Iron Man to Avengers Endgame, including an appearance in Black Widow. He has also played the title character in Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes, which earned him his second Golden Globe, and its sequel.
In 2020, he has portrayed Dr. Dolittle in Dolittle, which he has produced through his production company Team Downey. It has been considered a critical failure and a box office bomb.
Downey was born in Manhattan, New York City, the younger of 2 children. His father, Robert Downey Sr., is an actor and filmmaker, while his mother, Elsie N., was an actress who appeared in Downey Sr.'s films. Downey's father is of half Lithuanian Jewish, 1/4 Hungarian Jewish, and 1/4 Irish descent, while Downey's mother had Scottish, German, and Swiss ancestry. Robert's original family name was Elias, which was changed by his father to enlist in the army. Downey and his older sister Allison grew up in Greenwich Village.
As a child, Downey was surrounded by drugs. His father, a drug addict, allowed Downey to use marijuana at age 6, an incident which his father later said he regretted. Downey later stated that drug use became an emotional bond between him and his father. When my dad and I would do drugs together, it was like him trying to express his love for me in the only way he knew how. Eventually, Downey began spending every night abusing alcohol and making 1,000 phone calls in pursuit of drugs.
During his childhood, Downey had minor roles in his father's films. He made his acting debut at the age of 5, playing a sick puppy in the absurdist comedy Pound, and then at 7 appeared in the surrealist western Greaser's Palace. At the age of 10, he was living in England and studied classical ballet as part of a larger curriculum. He attended the Stage Door Manor Performing Arts Training Center in upstate New York as a teenager. When his parents divorced in 1978, Downey moved to California with his father, but in 1982, he dropped out of Santa Monica High School and moved back to New York to pursue an acting career full-time.
Downey and Kiefer Sutherland, who shared the screen in the 1988 drama 1969, were roommates for 3 years when he first moved to Hollywood to pursue his career in acting.
Downey began building upon theater roles, including in the short-lived off-Broadway musical American Passion at the Joyce Theater in 1983, produced by Norman Lear. In 1985, he was part of the new, younger cast hired for Saturday Night Live, but following a year of poor ratings and criticism of the new cast's comedic talents, he and most of the new crew were dropped and replaced. Rolling Stone magazine named Downey the worst SNL cast member in its entire run, stating that the Downey fail sums up everything that makes SNL great. That same year, Downey had a dramatic acting breakthrough when he played James Spader's character's sidekick in Tough Turf and then a bully in John Hughes's Weird Science. He was considered for the role of Ducky in John Hughes's film Pretty in Pink, but his first lead role was with Molly Ringwald in The Pickup Artist. Because of these and other coming-of-age films Downey did during the 1980s, he is sometimes named as a member of the Brat Pack.
In 1987, Downey played Julian Wells, a drug-addicted rich boy whose life rapidly spirals out of his control, in the film version of the Bret Easton Ellis novel Less Than Zero. His performance, described by Janet Maslin in the New York Times as desperately moving, was widely praised, though Downey has said that for him the role was like the ghost of Christmas future since his drug habit resulted in his becoming an exaggeration of the character in real life. Zero drove Downey into films with bigger budgets and names, such as Chances Are with Sybil Shepherd and Ryan O'Neal, Air America with Mel Gibson, and Soap Dish with Sally Field, Kevin Kline, and Whoopi Goldberg.
In 1992, he starred as Charlie Chaplin in Chaplin, a role for which he prepared extensively, learning how to play the violin as well as tennis left-handed. He had a personal coach in order to help him imitate Chaplin's posture and a way of carrying himself. The role garnered Downey an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor at the Academy Awards' 65th ceremony, losing to Al Pacino in Scent of a Woman.
In 1993, he appeared in the films Heart and Souls with Alfred Woodard and Kira Sedgwick and Shortcuts with Matthew Modine and Julianne Moore, along with a documentary that he wrote about the 1992 presidential campaigns titled The Last Party. He starred in the 1994 films Only You with Marissa Tomei and Natural Born Killers with Woody Harrelson. He then subsequently appeared in Restoration, Richard III, Two Girls and a Guy, as Special Agent John Royce in U.S. Marshals, and in Black and White.
From 1996 through 2001, Downey was arrested numerous times on charges related to drugs including cocaine, heroin, and marijuana and went through drug treatment programs unsuccessfully, explaining in 1999 to a judge, "It's like I have a shotgun in my mouth, and I've got my finger on the trigger, and I like the taste of the gunmetal." He explained his relapses by claiming to have been addicted to drugs since the age of 8, due to the fact that his father, also an addict previously, had been giving them to him.
In April 1996, Downey was arrested for possession of heroin, cocaine, and an unloaded .357 Magnum handgun while he was speeding down Sunset Boulevard. A month later, while on parole, he trespassed into a neighbor's home while under the influence of a controlled substance, and fell asleep in one of the beds. He received 3 years of probation and was ordered to undergo compulsory drug testing. In 1997, he missed one of the court-ordered drug tests, and had to spend 6 months in the Los Angeles County Jail.
After Downey missed another required drug test in 1999, he was arrested once more. Despite Downey's lawyer, John Stewart Holden, assembling the same team of lawyers that successfully defended O.J. Simpson during his criminal trial for murder, Downey was sentenced to a 3-year prison term at the California Substance Abuse Treatment Facility and State Prison in Corcoran, California. At the time of the 1999 arrest, all of Downey's film projects had wrapped and were close to release. He had also been hired to provide the voice of the devil on the NBC animated television series God, the Devil, and Bob, but was fired when he failed to show up for rehearsals.
After spending nearly a year in the California Substance Abuse Treatment Facility and State Prison, Downey, on condition of posting a $5,000 bail, was unexpectedly freed when a judge ruled that his collective time in incarceration facilities had qualified him for early release. A week after his 2000 release, Downey joined the cast of the hit television series Ally McBeal, playing the new love interest of Callista Flockhарт's title character. His performance was praised, and the following year he was nominated for an Emmy Award in the Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series category and won a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor in a Miniseries or Television Film. He also appeared as a writer and singer on Vonda Shepard's Ally McBeal, For Once in My Life album, and he sang with Sting a duet of Every Breath You Take in an episode of the series. Despite the apparent success, Downey claimed that his performance on the series was overrated and said, "It was my lowest point in terms of addictions. At that stage, I didn't give a fuck whether I ever acted again." In January 2001, Downey was scheduled to play the role of Hamlet in a Los Angeles stage production directed by Mel Gibson.
Before the end of his first season on Ally McBeal, over the Thanksgiving 2000 holiday, Downey was arrested when his room at Merv Griffin's Hotel in Givenchy Spa in Palm Springs, California was searched by the police, who were responding to an anonymous 911 call. Downey was under the influence of a controlled substance and in possession of cocaine and Valium. Despite the fact that, if convicted, he would have faced a prison sentence of up to 4 years and 8 months, he signed on to appear in at least 8 more Ally McBeal episodes.
In April 2001, while he was on parole, a Los Angeles police officer found him wandering barefooted in Culver City. He was arrested for suspicion of being under the influence of drugs, but was released a few hours later, even though tests showed he had cocaine in his system. After this last arrest, producer David E. Kelly and other Ally McBeal executives ordered last-minute rewrites and reshoots and fired Downey from the show, despite the fact that Downey's character had resuscitated Ally McBeal's ratings. The Culver City arrest also cost him a role in the high-profile film America's Sweethearts, and the subsequent incarceration prompted Mel Gibson to shut down his planned stage production of Hamlet as well. In July 2001, Downey pleaded no contest to the Palm Springs charges, avoiding jail time. Instead, he was sent into drug rehabilitation and received 3 years of probation, benefiting from California Proposition 36, which had been passed the year before with the aim of helping non-violent drug offenders overcome their addictions instead of sending them to jail.
The book Conversations with Woody Allen reports that director Woody Allen wanted to cast Downey and Winona Ryder in his film Melinda and Melinda in 2005, but was unable to do so, because he could not get insurance on them, stating, "We couldn't get bonded. The completion bonding companies would not bond the picture unless we could insure them. We were heartbroken because I had worked with Winona before and thought she was perfect for this and wanted to work with her again. And I had always wanted to work with Bob Downey and always thought he was a huge talent."
In the 18th of December 2000 article for People magazine entitled Bad to Worse, Downey's stepmother Rosemary told author Alex Trasinlowski that Downey had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder a few years ago and added that his bipolar disorder was the reason he has a hard time staying sober. What hasn't been tried is medication and intensive psychotherapy. In the same article, Dr. Manijenikapta, a Los Angeles psychiatrist and co-author of Addictional Self-Medication, The Truth, claimed she received a letter from Downey in 1999, during his time at Corcoran II, asking for advice on his condition. She discovered that no one had done a complete evaluation. "I asked him flat out if he thought he was bipolar, and he said, 'Oh yeah. There are times I spend a lot of money and I'm hyperactive, and there are other times I'm down.'" In an article for the March 2007 issue of Esquire, Downey stated that he wanted to address this whole thing about the bipolar after receiving a phone call from the Bipolar Association asking him about being bipolar. When Downey denied he had ever said he was bipolar, the caller quoted the People article, to which Downey replied, "No. Dr. Malibizian said." And they go, "Well, it's been written, so we're going to quote it." Downey flatly denied being depressed or manic and that previous attempts to diagnose him with any kind of psychiatric or mood disorder had always been skewed because the guy I was seeing didn't know I was smoking crack in his bathroom. You can't make a diagnosis until somebody's sober.
After 5 years of substance abuse, arrests, rehab, and relapse, Downey was ready to work toward a full recovery from drugs and return to his career. In discussing his failed attempts to control his addictive behavior in the past, Downey told Oprah Winfrey in November 2004 that when someone says, "I really wonder if maybe I should go to rehab," well, you're a Rick, you just lost your job, and your wife left you. You might want to give it a shot. He added that after his last arrest in April 2001, when he knew he would likely be facing another stint in prison or another form of incarceration such as court-ordered rehab, "I said, you know what? I don't think I can continue doing this. And I reached out for help, and I ran with it." You can reach out for help in kind of a half-assed way and you'll get it and you won't take advantage of it. It's not that difficult to overcome these seemingly ghastly problems. What's hard is to decide to do it.
Downey got his first post-rehabilitation acting job in August 2001, lip-syncing in the video for Elton John's single I Want Love. Video director Sam Taylor Wood shot 16 takes of the video and used the last one because, according to John, Downey looked completely relaxed and the way he underplays it is fantastic.
Downey was able to return to the big screen after Mel Gibson, who had been a close friend to Downey since both had co-starred in Air America, paid Downey's insurance bond for the 2003 film The Singing Detective. Gibson's gamble paved the way for Downey's comeback, and Downey returned to mainstream films in the mid-2000s with Gothica, for which producer Joel Silver withheld 40% of his salary until after production wrapped as insurance against his addictive behavior. Similar clauses have become standard in his contracts since. Silver, who was getting closer to Downey as he dated his assistant Susan Levin, also got the actor the leading role in the comedy thriller Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, the directorial debut of screenwriter Shane Black.
After Gothica, Downey was cast in a number of leading and supporting roles, including well-received work in a number of semi-independent films, A Guide to Recognizing Your Saints, Good Night, and Good Luck, Richard Linklater's dystopian, Rotoscope to Scanner Darkly, and Stephen Schoenberg's fictional biographical film of Diane-a-Bus, Fur, where Downey's character represented the two biggest influences on Bus's professional life, Lizette Model and Marvin Israel. Downey also received great notice for his roles in more mainstream fare such as Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Disney's poorly received The Shaggy Dog.
On November 23, 2004, Downey released his debut musical album, The Futurist, on Sony Classical, for which he designed the cover art and designed the track listing label on the CD with his son Indio. The album received mixed reviews, but Downey stated in 2006 that he probably will not do another album, as he felt that the energy he put into doing the album was not compensated.
In 2006, Downey returned to television when he did voice acting on Family Guy in the episode The Fat Guy Strangler. Downey had previously telephoned the show's production staff and asked if he could produce or assist in an episode creation, as his son Indio is a fan of the show. The producers of the show accepted the offer and created the character of Patrick Pewterschmidt, Lois Griffin's long-lost, mentally disturbed brother, for Downey.
Downey signed on with publishers HarperCollins to write a memoir, which in 2006 was already being billed as a candid look at the highs and lows of his life and career. In 2008, however, Downey returned his advance to the publishers and canceled the book without further comment.
In 2007, Downey appeared in David Fincher's mystery thriller Zodiac, which was based on a true story. He played the role of San Francisco Chronicle journalist Paul Avery, who was reporting the Zodiac killer case.
With all of the critical success Downey had experienced throughout his career, he had not appeared in a blockbuster film. That changed in 2008 when Downey starred in two critically and commercially successful films, Iron Man and Tropic Thunder. In the article Ben Stiller wrote for Downey's entry in the 2008 edition of the Time 100, he offered an observation on Downey's commercially successful summer at the box office.
Yes, Downey is Iron Man, but he really is Actor Man. In the realm where box office is irrelevant and talent is king, the realm that actually means something, he has always ruled, and finally this summer he gets to have his cake and let us eat him up all the way to the multiplex, where his mastery is in full effect. Ben Stiller, the 2008 Time 100, entry No. 60, Robert Downey Jr.
Iron Man was globally released between April 30th and May 3, 2008, grossing over $585 million worldwide and receiving rave reviews which cited Downey's performance as a highlight of the film. By October 2008, Downey had agreed to appear as Iron Man in two Iron Man sequels, as part of the Iron Man franchise, as well as The Avengers, featuring the superhero team that Stark joins, based on Marvel's comic book series The Avengers. He first reprised the role in a small appearance as Iron Man's alter ego Tony Stark in the 2008 film The Incredible Hulk, as a part of Marvel Studios depicting the same Marvel universe on film by providing continuity among the movies.
After Iron Man, Downey appeared alongside Ben Stiller and Jack Black in the Stiller-directed Tropic Thunder. The three actors play a Hollywood archetype, with Downey playing self-absorbed multi-Oscar-winning Australian method actor Kirk Lazarus, as they star in an extremely expensive Vietnam-era film called Tropic Thunder. Lazarus undergoes a controversial skin pigmentation procedure in order to take on the role of African-American platoon Sergeant Lincoln Osiris, which required Downey to wear dark makeup and a wig. Both Stiller and Downey feared Downey's portrayal of the character could become controversial.
When asked by Harry Smith on CBS's The Early Show who his model was for Lazarus, Downey laughed before responding, "Sadly, my sorry-ass self."
Released in the United States on the 13th of August, 2008, Tropic Thunder received good reviews with 83% of reviews positive and an average normalized score of 71, according to the review aggregator websites Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic, respectively. It earned $26 million in its North American opening weekend and retained the #1 position for its first 3 weekends of release. The film grossed $180 million in theaters before its release on home video on the 18th of November, 2008. Downey was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his portrayal of Lazarus.
Opening in late April 2009 was a film Downey finished in mid-2008, The Soloist. The film was delayed from a November 2008 release by Paramount Pictures due to the studio's tight end-of-year release schedule. Critics who had seen the film in 2008 were mentioning it as a possible Academy Award candidate. Downey picked up an Academy Award nomination for the 2008 release year for his role in Tropic Thunder.
The first role Downey accepted after Iron Man was the title character in Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes. Warner Bros. Released it on the 25th of December, 2009. The film set several box office records in the United States for a Christmas Day release, beating the previous record holder, 2008's Marley and Me, by nearly $10 million, and finished second to Avatar in a record-setting Christmas weekend box office. Sherlock Holmes ended up being the 8th highest-grossing film of 2009. When Downey won the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Musical or Comedy from the Hollywood Foreign Press Association for his role as Sherlock Holmes, he noted in his acceptance speech that he had prepared no remarks because Susan Downey told me that Matt Damon was going to win, so don't bother preparing a speech.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.